On this episode of China Uncensored, Kim Jong-un's Chinese Godfather. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. If you're watching this, it means we probably haven't all died in a nuclear Armageddon. And given all the recent threats from North Korea, that's good news to me. By now, people the world over know about Kim Jong-un, that mischievous 29-year-old scamp with a million-man army and nuclear weapons coming out of his ears, or so he claims. He's lit up global news media with his delightful antics, like hanging out with Dennis Rodman, and horrific threats, like turning Los Angeles into an atomic wasteland, instead of just a cultural wasteland. In fact, Kim's so well known, they've even heard of him in places like North Korea. But fewer of you may know about the shadowy forces that lurk behind this glamorous exterior. For instance, this man, former Chinese Communist Party security chief Zhou Yongkang. Zhou has long been what's known in Chinese politics as a people person. That is, he's a person who spends a lot of his time torturing people. His role in Chinese politics has focused on getting protesters tossed into illegal, unregistered prisons, supervising beatings and intimidations of religious and ethnic minorities, and ensuring that security forces strike hard against anyone considered a threat to the Communist Party's rule. Zhou was also the only foreigner on the podium with Kim Jong-un when his father, Kim Jong-il, led him out as the heir apparent in 2010. That's right, not the Chinese ambassador, not even someone with any kind of foreign affairs position, just the head of China's secret police. Sort of like if Russia sent a former KGB agent to attend state diplomatic functions. Oh, wait. It's been reported that Zhou is a strong supporter of the Kim dynasty and that he's one of the loudest voices within the Chinese Communist Party against any change in the alliance. Until last November, Zhou was also the official head of the Chinese Communist Party's enormously powerful Political and Legislative Affairs Committee, or Zheng. Don't let the official name fool you, though. The politics part is mainly about suppressing any group that opposes the Communist Party, and the law part is more or less intimidating lawyers and judges to stop them from doing anything crazy like giving dissidents fair trials. At the same time, though, plenty of more liberal-minded Chinese citizens and even a counterfaction of party officials have long wanted to remove Zhou and take his vast secret security forces down a notch. Many have been outraged that his internal police had an even higher budget than the armed forces. So why should Zhou be so close to Kim? The worrying answer is that he might see the North Korean regime as a kind of last-ditch exit strategy. You know, like in a game of chess, when you knock all the pieces to the ground and snap the board in half with your steel-toed boot. After all, he could be a very valuable gain for the impoverished nation. As a U.S. diplomatic WikiLeaks cable made clear, Zhou also used to run China's oil industry, and hey, who knows? Maybe he just might have skimmed a little off the top out of the profits of state-run companies. Corruption in China's oil industry is not unheard of. State-run Sinopec's chairman was sentenced to death for taking over $17 million in bribes. It's important to note that the political situation inside of China is changing rapidly, but no one quite knows where it's headed. Zhou was a close ally of Bo Xilai, who was linked to some pretty serious human rights violations and was kicked out of the Communist Party and arrested last year. There were even rumors on the Chinese internet that he and Zhou staged a failed coup. Then Zhou's own Political and Legislative Affairs Committee was pushed down in the party hierarchy, and several of his other close associates have recently been investigated over corruption claims. Most recently, a relatively liberal Chinese media, Lens magazine, did an expose investigating the Masanjiao labor camp system in the northeastern province of Liaoning. For years, foreign governments, the UN, and NGOs have alleged vast numbers of brutal human rights violations at these facilities. This was a third-rail issue in the Chinese press for the past decade, but that seems to have changed after the fall of Bo Xilai, who greatly expanded these camps and turned them into a key center to persecute Falun Gong adherents. In 1999, China's former leader Jiang Zemin swore he'd wipe out Falun Gong, and it was Zhou Yongkang and his secret police that were for the most part tasked with carrying it out. Bo Xilai was just a part of that. Bo has now been ousted, but the atrocities committed against Falun Gong adherents haven't yet been dismantled. But many think that may now be underway, and that the next step could be Zhou Yongkang facing a fate similar to Bo. So in other words, one of the key Chinese backers of Kim Jong-un's regime is a paranoid man who's rolling in sweet, sweet petrodollars, who may or may not still control a huge secret police force and has no reservations about killing and torturing innocent people. Let's hope that somebody like that wouldn't be willing to fan the flames of war as just a distraction in order to save his own skin. That just wouldn't be nice. So what do you think? Share your thoughts by either commenting below, or you can follow me on Twitter or like China Uncensored on Facebook. And as always, be sure to subscribe for more episodes of China Uncensored. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.